So in the last session, we saw about calories and like what kind of macronutrients come with how much of calories. Now this session is much more interesting because we'll be talking about proteins, and there is a general talk that high protein diet is much more healthier than any other diet. So is it true, and is it a myth, or it is for real? We will see that in detail, and then we'll also see protein-rich foods, like where do you get maximum of your proteins from, and also diets based on macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats.
Okay, Preeti, that's a very interesting topic and very hot topic and very controversial topic. Yeah, people are nowadays shifted to high protein, high fat, no low carb. So everyone is, like following whatever is available on the net. So let us get into some fundamentals, fundamentals, because the universe existed, world existed, and we develop all these new things. But nature, everything was there already happening. It didn't change. We are changing. So let us see what is the science behind it. And we will again, what are the functions of proteins? You see, we somehow are connecting proteins only to growth, what we see outside, and maybe muscles, growth. But proteins play a very important role. They make our enzymes which digest our foods. They make hormones which are messengers helping our body to adapt all changes what we are getting from our environment. Proteins transport substances, molecules, food products in our blood system and our body. Proteins make neuropeptides, means the hormones which control our brain signals, moods. So you see, proteins are doing so many things. Proteins are the cell receptors to let other substances, molecules enter our cells. Proteins make the structure of cells. So when we are talking about proteins, the structure of cells, that is what we see outside, maybe muscles, and that's what we always focus on. But there are so many things they do, all vital things. Energy, proteins can also make energy, can also end up making glucose. So how much do we need? That becomes important, right? If it is so important, do we need more? Is it connected with that? There are hundreds of free online apps doing the calculations of the protein needed, and the protein powders is a multi-billion, trillion business nowadays. Protein gyms, protein. But what is the science behind these calculations? From where have these calculations come? So how did it come out, the calculation? There is something very fundamental which has not changed from the time it started, the calculation of how much protein we need, which is called nitrogen balance. Because protein is the only molecule which also has the atom of nitrogen. A bit of science, then we'll go into talks later on. So it's very easy to calculate how much proteins I need, because carbohydrates and fats do not have nitrogen. Protein has nitrogen. So from the balance of nitrogen in our body, we can come to know if I'm having excess protein or having a balance or having less protein. So we can come to know easily. So then why should we have more if we don't need more? Because it could be harmful. Because protein, how much we have, is checked in our blood reports. If you have too much of protein, it'll put a pressure on the kidneys, because once it's metabolized, the waste has to be excreted. It is toxic. And so we have this very simple test, BUN, blood urea nitrogen. In any test you go and do, you'll see it is done there. For what? To check that am I having excess protein in me, which would be coming from dietary, or coming because kidney is not functioning, so the protein can after metabolism cannot be excreted, or maybe the protein, my cells, my muscles are getting damaged. So but generally we always connect it to intake, let us say. So it is so something fundamental and natural. So why go crazy over more protein, excess protein and powders? Because it never changed. This calculation has never changed. From the day it started, it's still there. It's a basic science. As per this calculation, as per the recommendation of the medical authorities of the countries, we need only 8 grams of protein per kg of the body weight. So my body weight is 60 kgs into 0.8 is equal to 40. I need only 40 grams of protein per day to be absolutely fit. I don't need extra protein. People could need extra protein who are very athletic, who really want to make muscles, or unfortunately who are sick and the muscles are being used up, or they're losing some cells, or cancer, any disease, so they would be needing extra. That your doctor will guide you, or any health practitioner can let you know. But otherwise, 50 grams for me per day, only 50 grams of protein, which would be about only 11% of the 2000 calories which I'm having. If I'm having 2000 calories in a day, 2000 into 11%, 220 calories only needed as a macronutrient of protein. That's it. This you can go up and check anywhere on the net with any government medical authority. So I don't know what the hype about extra protein is, but anyway, as we go forward, here are the recommendations, the government recommendations from all the countries of how much proteins we need from energy. I just showed you there. So for all the macronutrients. So how much protein we need? Is it too much or too less? The question which you asked, Preeti, too much or too less, there is a calculation. Okay. Although we have so many apps, but the apps maybe are not educating from where are those calculations coming up. So behind those free online apps and health offers being made, we should know these basic calculations ourselves and then take care of our family and everyone and self. So carbs we need from the 2000 calories we just spoke about in our last talk. So it's not fixed. It depends on the person's lifestyle. That's why the recommendations are approximate. So carbs we need 45 to 65% of the 2000 calories. Proteins we need 10 to 35%. Just 10% is enough. And these are the new numbers which have changed. So they have brought it up 35 also, but actually many are happy with 10. 10 is enough, because perhaps too much of anything good is also very harmful. So fats 20% to 35%. And if we translate this into grams for your kitchen, when you go into your kitchen on your weighing scale, carbs, I can't see this thing has come here. So yeah. So carbs we would be needing, now it's grams, only 225 to 325 grams of carbohydrates is required as per the science which does this calculation. Proteins, as I just told you, 48 some grams for me, 50 grams. Okay, they have increased it. People, some say they need more and the calculations are there. So 50 to 175 for a very athletic person, or pregnant mothers and lactating mothers will be needing more proteins. Okay, fats only 45 grams to 75 grams. Just translating it into a reality, Preeti, 45 grams is how many tablespoons? 3 tablespoons.
Okay.
3 tablespoons of any oil is fulfilling your day's requirement of your fat intake. But it's already there in everything fat. What are we going to do? So we are, the problem of am I eating less, the worry of am I eating less is not there. The problem is of eating too much of all these things. The problem is of eating, yes. Problem is of eating. And protein powders. Okay, just to give you an example, if people are worried, the whole day, I have the whole day to eat 50 grams of protein from all my meals, right? And if I would go for protein powders, I don't need a protein powder. If I would go for protein powder, to be careful, because one scoop of the protein powder could be around 30-40 grams. It'll be written on the bottle. So if I just have 1 or 2 scoops, maybe I'm jumping beyond the recommended daily intake through foods. So the danger is more of eating too much than eating too less. Protein-rich foods, I always suggest, recommend whole foods, plant-based, because when we are eating meat products, we can very easily jump up in our requirements of protein and fats, because those foods are very high in protein and fats, and there are many very interesting research articles, papers. There are some ones done for over 10, 20 years, 30 years, which show that they are correlated to many diseases. So disease of affluence, of nowadays it's more of these rich foods coming in easily and lifestyle changing. So one has to be careful about that also. Then you see, we can also, here's a list. We get worried about whole foods, plant-based. From where do I get my proteins? Lentils, legumes, sprouted, cooked in flour form, besan, green peas, tofu, nuts, seeds, soy nuggets. Soy nuggets are just protein. And I wrote down their protein powders. If someone is really desperate, feels that he's missing out and is not connected with which we want to educate about that calculation, or perhaps they need more, or if someone is sick perhaps and the health practitioners recommended protein powder, they can add a bit and it's more than enough than the recommended amounts. So Preeti, from here, where do you said you were having, people have put up some questions and all.
Yeah. So the question is it's very interesting. I was watching the presentation that you were sharing just now, that previously we were talking about carbohydrates and we were saying that carbs, they're not good, and the maximum you limit your carbohydrates is good for your health and all of that. But now I'm seeing that the recommendation is 45% of carbohydrates and 10% of proteins and 20% of fat.
Actually, it is 45 to 65.
Yeah, no, the minimum. I'm talking about the minimum.
Minimum, yes.
So
okay,
carbohydrates is 45, and fat is 20%, and protein is only 10%. So
only 10%.
Yeah, only 10%. So then
for my weight, my weight is 10%. 50 grams of protein per day provides me with all essential nutrients, everything.
So I'm wondering, how has this education or this awareness that has come from that, limit your carbohydrates and increase your proteins? It's the reverse that we hear these days everywhere. And interestingly, you said that we don't need protein powders. So connected to that, I have a question. If a person is a vegan and does not consume any meat, and do they need additional proteins to include in their diet? Because this is also another thing that I read everywhere, and I have come across in many places that when you're a vegan, when you don't consume red meat, it's better that you include a lot of protein in your diet.
From a whole food plant-based diet, you can get more than 50 grams very easily in a day. Simple reply. The foods which are high in vegetables with proteins, so 50 grams, 60, 70 grams is very easy to get. It's not a problem really. And if one needs more, I just have a bit more of nuts, seeds. They're high in proteins, chia seeds, flax seeds, all these seeds. And getting mixed up. Yes, so it's okay. So now what is important, there's something very important here, that some people say that animal proteins are better and important. Yes, there is because you see, when we take in proteins, a very important thing to understand, protein powders, proteins for certain thing to be function to be done in my body, let us say make muscles or whatever, remember that a protein will not enter my body intact as a protein. And connected to this thing is something more important. I could be consuming all the protein in the world, but if my stomach digestion and acidity and pepsin is not up to the level it should be, I will not digest proteins. A. B. No matter which protein I have taken, it has to be unbroken, uncleaved, unbroken into amino acids, and it will enter my body, and then my body's wisdom will decide whether it wants to use it for neuropeptides or for hormones or for what, or for muscle. It will see what it is needed for,
And if it is unused and if it's not used by the body, it can be harmful for the body.
So it'll get excreted, metabolized, and excreted as blood BUN through the kidneys.
Right.
Ammonia is a product which the body doesn't want to keep it inside, it has to remove it out. So amino acids, now there are about 20 amino acids which can make a protein. So in the plant foods, we have to make sure we are eating a complete diverse range, because some foods will provide us certain amino acids, some will provide certain, but the body, once it goes in, it needs, because 9 of them the body cannot synthesize, they have to come from outside. The rest of the amino acid body will make as it feels what is necessary and make the protein accordingly. So this is a wisdom, all these things are happening. But whenever we are having a complete lentils, all lentils, grains, nuts, seeds, the research is there that body can make all the proteins necessary. At the other side, animal proteins, proteins also have a bioavailability index, means how easily they can be used by the body. So now the animal proteins bioavailability is very good. Plant proteins bioavailability is a bit lower. But the question here, the research says that do we need so much proteins? Because if the bioavailability is good, the good part can also become a harmful part. The average bioavailability, the using of the protein from vegetables, plant foods is around 70% average. Animal foods is much higher. And the egg would be 100%, almost similar profile to a human profile. So this is a thing of debate and controversy. If you go to the scholarly articles, that maybe something good, too good, could be causing harm. So I did some articles and studies with T. Colin Campbell, and he has done research on proteins and all for 40 years. His thing carried on, same research carried on for 40 years, where people who are interested can go to the net and check and see. Is very important, because in the 40 years of research, what he presented, aged person, well-known person, that animal proteins could be linked to diseases. That's why the disease in the Western world has increased with the availability of these styles of foods now. All the research said we need 50 grams starting, 60, 70, 80. And you can just go into some recipes and you can see that one can easily get.
But you are you follow plant-based diet, and you're saying that there is no
I don't use the word vegan.
I don't have to intake any extra proteins. And what you get from plants is enough.
Yes. Vegan, I use the word whole foods. Whole foods, plant-based. I've been now into it for many, many years, and for me, I feel fine and okay, absolutely. And then, of course, our connections, our circles, our health practitioners, everywhere we see that people gradually are shifting more towards this side. Feel better.
Plant-based food.
Yeah. Natural, plant-based, whole foods. They must be whole. They must not be processed. They must be whole, as much as possible, natural.
As much as possible. So whole foods are basically like what is provided by the nature, you consume as is, without disturbing it.
As we can. Yeah. As much as we can.
Yeah, not from the factories. directly. So mostly what we consume directly from nature is fruits and vegetables.
Yes, and if a person feels he needs plant protein little bit because of his lifestyle or is undergoing some problem, so lots of plant-based proteins powders are available now. You can add a little bit to it. At the same
Right.
time, a person who could not afford that, maybe he could have besan, just that from chickpea. You get the drink, the besan drink. It's called sattu. He can have that. So nature also provides, and if you want to go in for isolated plant protein, it's available if person feels he needs more.
Only if there is a need,
Yeah.
then you have options for that too.
Anything which is good, if we have too much, will be a problem. We need around 2-3 liters of water a day because it's very essential. But if I have 6-7 liters, I force myself, I'll get into a problem. The body will throw it out, and we get sick. We need oxygen sometimes. So the doctor will not just give us oxygen full level. They have to monitor it because it's vital, but it can kill the person. So everything, even good to extra level, will be harmful.
Okay, so another very useful information on proteins, and
So here's
now
just
that
yes.
now the pictures become very clear. Like what nature provides is so valuable for us, and nature has its own way of like providing things that are required for us, for our bodies, and what we go and additionally do or additionally consume is what usually affects our health. So the information has been very valuable, Anil. The slides that we saw on protein, and do we need high proteins, do we need extra proteins, all the doubts are clarified just now. And if you have any questions, and if you want to know more on something that is related to proteins, please do comment below and leave your questions, and we will definitely talk about it in our next session.
So I just have one recipe to show about proteins. Yes, and later on, as we said, we'll do a class for the whole day recipe to show that are we getting enough proteins, fats, carbs. So before we end, we'll just show you a recipe and the nutrient facts of the recipe. But later on, definitely we'll do a separate session that what one could eat. Let's say the day's meals, and see are we getting enough proteins. We are worried about protein, so let's say are we getting enough protein. We can easily do that. But before we end, just one recipe today if you are too worried about proteins. So here we have black chickpea, fenugreek leeks pancake. In India we would call it what would we call
Methi
it?
chila.
Chilla, okay.
Chilla.
So on the right side, breakfast, let's say I said a person would eat 3 of them. So when a person has 3 of them, that would give him 634 calories. It's enough, it's a lot. In one meal, if you cover 634 calories, you have 2, then you have around 300-400 calories. Plus you'll be having something more with it, maybe. Early morning, maybe you've already had some cookies or something. So going less on calories is not a problem. And then proteins, let's go down here, proteins. Now this is providing me 23.5 grams of proteins. Can you see the last line, Preeti?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
And how much proteins do I?
23 grams.
And how much do I need, I said? Or how much was the recommended by the health authorities for an adult?
50 grams? 50 grams?
Yeah, now technically it's 56, but 50, yes. 10% of 2000 will be 50 grams. So breakfast, I've already got my 50, half of my 50 grams.
Yes.
I need to have some bit more. I can just have some chia seeds. I can have some nano seeds. And my afternoon meal. Evening anyway, I don't have a meal because I feel I don't need. I feel two meals are enough to give me 50 grams. So specifically, if we feel I'm missing on it, I can go in targeted for vegetarian food which are extra in protein. I can just have some soya milk. Soya milk is high in protein. And in fact, we have to be careful because in the recipe, it doesn't show here when we were making it, how to play around with recipes. I purposely put in around 3-4 spoons of coconut oil or ghee.
Right.
Purposely. Now that shows here that 41 grams of fat has gone in already. It's
Okay.
already over the daily allowed
Limit.
amount. Yes.
So I
Carbohydrate.
have another question. So like just 2 meals a day is good for us.
Yes. Also enough. Even one meal is enough.
Is
Person
it
can
enough? Yeah.
manage. If you want to
Yes.
go in for what to say that calorie restriction, so your one meal has to be a very good meal covering everything.
Yes.
So not 1-2 meals is more than enough. The problem is not of going low on diets. That doesn't exist. For the people who are watching this, the problem is of eating too much, which could be coming from not only from our body doesn't want it, we want it. That's the problem. It's coming from here.
Yes.
Right? And from the advertisements and all that. And maybe after this, you never know, you might open your packet of chips.
Yeah.
You just might want to watch some series with a packet of chips. And how much was the packet of chips? How many calories of junk food? You remember?
It was
500 calories.
500, yeah, 500 calories.
Yes, 500 calories. So, a bit of fundamental information like this, we can take care of our family's health. We don't have to go crazy checking calories everywhere, day and night. But the information does keep us abreast of what's happening, and not to also get misguided with so much information on the net. Okay.
So we have come to the end of the presentation on proteins, and that was we ended with a recipe also, and the future plan is to show you meals for the day. How can you plan your meals? Breakfast, lunch and dinner, that's the way we prefer. So we will show you how you can divide your calorie intake or your macronutrients intake per meal, and that will be very interesting because per meal we will show you how exactly you can sort of balance your meal, and
More interesting.
so that will be more interesting
Yes,
because you can really relate to what we saw in all these talk sessions, that how it translates to actually eating every single meal and every single plate. How do we fill ourselves, and that will throw more light and on all the information that we've seen so far. That's a practical way of looking at it.
And practically we can see that how very easily we can cover our protein needs and how very easily we can shoot beyond the roof with our fat needs. And then we say that we are getting fat and we are eating healthy, but it's what we put in shows out.
So thank you for watching us today, and I would repeat that if you have any questions, if you have any clarifications, you could always leave in the comments, and feel free to ask your questions, and we will get back to you in the next talk sessions. And thank you, Anil, for joining us today.
Yes, thank you, Preeti, and thank you everyone for watching. I hope it's shedding some light and information with the fundamentals so that you all can take your health in your own hands with knowledge and understanding. Thank you.